magnesium, very, very good. What did I say? These are almonds. Walnuts. Walnuts also a very good nut. But when talking about nuts, it's better to eat them raw. Much, much better when they're raw, because you get so much more to it. Most diseases, or many diseases, chronic ones especially, is due to chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation. And when we get inflammations from foods that's high in animal protein, that's high in refined sugars, and that's high in refined fats, those foods are pro-inflammatory. Whereas these foods here, I just mentioned, all the fruits and vegetables, these are anti-inflammatory. Anti-inflammatory. Also, cancer cells tend to grow in acidic medium. Cancer cells, they proliferate in acidic medium. The acidic foods are, again, the animal protein and refined foods, anything that's refined. So this type of foods that are anti-inflammatory, they're anti-tumor, they help to boost the immune system when we have infections, whether it's viral, parasitic, or cancerous viruses. All this type of foods will help to boost our immune system. These same foods will help to detoxify against chemicals. Chemicals in the air, in the water, in the beverages, these will help to detoxify. On top of that, they slow down aging. In other words, our cells will damaged by free radicals. These foods are protected. They will protect our cells from going injured or damaged. On top of all that goodness, this type of foods, they're low in calories, they're low in fat, and they have zero cholesterol, no cholesterol at all. So it's a real bargain. I want to tell you a story. This lady name is Janet, 45 years old, with 2 boys. In apparent good health. She exercises 3 times a week. She's RN working full-time in a hospital. But for a week or so, she felt a little soreness in her throat and a little achiness in her chest. So she went to see her doctor, and the x-ray revealed 3 cancers in her left lung, 7 cancers in her right lung. So a total of 10 cancers in her lungs, 10 cancers. Then they found 3 additional cancers in her liver, 1 more in the pancreas, and then a final one the size of a baseball in her abdomen. So Janet had 15 cancers throughout her body, 15 cancers. So her oncologist told her, you have 3 weeks to live, 3 weeks. The most, maybe 6 weeks. And so then she decided to go to see a second oncologist. The second one said, with chemotherapy, we could extend your life to maybe 3 months. At the very most, 6 months. So she talked over with her husband, with her 2 boys. She really needed time to prepare for her death. With two boys and a husband. So she chose chemotherapy. She thought, at least I could live 3 months, maybe 6 months. She had her first dose of chemo, first dose. She reacted so badly. In 3 week time, 3 weeks, her weight from her normal 118 pounds dropped to 72 pounds. In 3 weeks. That's a 46-pound drop. At this point, she lost all her hair. Her face was gray. Her skin was gray. Her nails were blue. She was on oxygen. She had hospice care 24/7. And the doctors feared if they give her one more chemo, she would die. She would be dead. So it was at this point she decided she must take control of her own life. First thing she did, she went to an all plant-based diet. All plant-based diet. After two meals, changing her diet from her normal to a plant-based diet, after 2 meals, her vomiting stopped. What a relief she would have. She was vomiting continuously for all those times, for 3 weeks. After 2 meals, her vomiting stopped. After 1 week, she was off all her pain medications. 1 week on an all plant-based diet. When she went back to see her doctor 10 months later, you're still here. The CAT scan showed all her 15 tumors were gone. They were gone. After a few more months, her insomnia disappeared. Her arthritic pain was gone. Today, 14 years later, Janet is in vibrant health. She cooks every day for 40 people, all on a plant-based diet. This is the power of a plant-based foods. You know, this case was featured on Fox News. It's one of the best documented cases that NIH, National Institute of Health, had ever seen. Best documented case. You know, God designed foods to keep us healthy. He designed this type of food to keep us healthy. God also placed healing nutrients in these foods that will heal our bodies when we're sick. This is really, truly powerful food. So to eat healthy, or for healthy eating is very simple. Eat more food from the trees that grow on trees. Eat more food that grows from the ground. And then eat more colorful foods. Okay? Thank you. Do I have 5 minutes? 5 minutes. We'll argue when we get home. We'll have 5 minutes. 5 minutes for if anyone has comments or questions. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next one. Do we have a mic that we could pass around to? Oh, I have one here. There's a couple hands back there. Or could we have another mic?
Esther, in the athletic world and the athletic supplements, can you just kind of expound on a little bit of stuff that I've been seeing a lot lately, and I don't take them, it's just curious because I'm involved with a lot of that, is I'm seeing a lot of ingredients like the artificial sweeteners and whatnot, and they're putting them in these, in drinks and carbo gels and things like that, and they actually can label them as vegan or organic, but then when you start breaking it down, they have like maltodextrins in them, or there's different types of maltodextrins.
Yes.
And what I've learned so far is they can list that as a complex carbohydrate, and they can list it as no sugars and stuff like that. But when it hits the body, it turns into like 10 different sugars.
Of course.
Can you expound on that a little bit for me?
Yes, and that is so true. You know, whenever they become that type of a sport drink or powder form, it is already a refined product. So the body actually considered that as a toxic ingredient. Couple here, and one here. Okay, we'll take this one.
What do you have to say about organic versus conventional fruits and vegetables?
Good question. You know, organic usually when you buy fruits or vegetables, if it's organic, it'll say organic, or it will have a label with several numbers. It begins with number 9. So if it says 9, that is organic. If it says number 8 and plus some other numbers, 8 is genetically modified. And then if it says 4, then it is conventional. And so, of course, health-wise, organic is much better. It costs more, but it's so much better for us.
Most of the foods that we're talking about, you're mentioning raw foods.
Yes.
What foods do we need to cook? And like, for example, beans, I think you have to cook,
Yeah,
but
right.
just that question.
Right. Yeah. You know, as much raw as possible if you can eat without cooking. But beans, you're so right. It needs to be cooked. There's one question here. Oh,
Hi.
okay. Mike goes to him. Yes.
I have when I become vegan, there's friends they're asking. I heard you said vegan people is lacking of B12. So how do I explain B12?
Very, very good question. Now, this is always often raised. What about B12? B12 requirement for the body is extremely little, about 3 micrograms.